Greetings and salutations, YouTube Nation. This is Kenny Rock Sable. You know what today is. Today is July the 20th. It was on this date, back in the year of our Lord, 1969, that three men, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins, supposedly made history by becoming the first men to land on the moon. The historic Apollo 11 mission was our country's grandest triumph. At least it seemed that way until I learned, and maybe some of you out there learned through a Ron Howard guest appearance in the sitcom Arrested Development. He said that they faked the moon landing. You probably remember back in March of this year that I learned that I just got through watching the connected video again. It's not quite as long. But now I'm starting to question that. Was the moon landing real? Was it fake? Who knows? Even I'm not sure of anything anymore. But you gotta ask yourself one question. Why would the government lie to us about one of the greatest triumphs in our country's history? Why would they do such a thing? In the original Sad Revelation video, I said it started with Tricky Dick Richard Nixon, but it goes even further back than that. I can tell you without hesitation the day the government started lying to us. It was on that horrendous day in November 1963. This happened almost a month before I was born. That was the day President John F. Kennedy was shot. Two days later, Dallas nightclub owner Jack Ruby shot his would-be assassin, Lee Harvey Oswald. We of course will never know for real, for sure, if Oswald was President Kennedy's killer or not. That's just something the government doesn't want us to know. That's the reason for the mysterious deaths of those who have been trying to expose the Kennedy assassination. Like What's My Line panelist Dorothy Kilgallen, for instance. Her death, like many others, came under mysterious circumstances. I recall one YouTube video that I like. There was a Twitter comment by someone about the Tila Tequila rant that happened earlier this year. He said, he tweeted, and I quote, "There are some things we don't need to know about for our own good." You're right, my friend. There really are some things we don't need to know about. And this, believe it or not, is one of them. In fact, it is the main one. Do we really need to know whether it was fake or not? Because we all believed it. A few moments ago, I also got through seeing video playback on CBS Sunday Morning some years ago about the moon landing, CBS's coverage of it. When the words were said, "Tranquility Base here, the Eagle has landed," I saw Walter Cronkite's reaction. It was like a little schoolboy didn't know what to do with his hands. He was so excited. The same Walter Cronkite that told the world about the death of JFK. The same one who would later report the death of his successor, LBJ, also on live television. I am now starting to question whether they really did fake it. I mean, you can take the word of some conspiracy theorists if you want. I'm not that kind of guy. Nor do I ever want to be. But I do know this. Looking back from the standpoint of nearly 4 months ago, I now can take some of the things I said with a grain of salt. When I said don't believe everything, I meant don't believe everything. Use your own judgment. Do what you have to do. Because it's all about two families, billionaires, the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. They own everything. And they want to own us. You know, a couple of months back, I saw another thing on Facebook saying that Hillary Clinton is practically in the White House because they faked well, they didn't fake the election. They controlled it. They ruined it for all of us. It's like our votes won't even count even if we vote for Trump or Bernie Sanders or somebody else. It doesn't really matter. Hillary's backdoor lobbyists and cronies are going to win anyway. And when they get in, this will start truly the longest, coldest winter this country has ever faced. The mixture of truth and lies has been going on since November 22nd, 1963, and it goes on to this very day. And you want to talk about a long, cold winter. I mean long and cold that could last half a year. There may not be a fall until March of 2018. No, there'll be a fall until that spring. The birds will freeze instead of sing. I don't know. We're already in the middle of a gigantic heat wave because there's a dome of high pressure high above the central plains that's already causing a lot of grief. I haven't been feeling well myself because yesterday I had to get out in that heat and travel in a vehicle with no air conditioning. That was the toughest. I felt so dehydrated I thought I was going to have to go to the hospital and get hooked up to a machine that would provide life-giving, life-saving, electrohydrating fluid. That's happened to me a few times. But I don't want to bore you with my troubles. I just want to tell you that maybe I wasn't completely right about all I said back in March. But I was right about one thing. The good Lord is taking away a lot of good people. As a matter of fact, I mentioned some of them in the original video. I mentioned Ken Howard, Joe Garagiola, Gary Shandling, some other people. But I did not know that actors Patty Duke and James Noble would be added to that exalted list. Later on, we would lose the great artist Prince, country legend Merle Haggard, the female wrestler once known as Chyna. Oh, there were more. There were many more to come. One of the biggest names was the greatest, Muhammad Ali. I have a tribute video of him posted here on my YouTube channel. And there were so many more to come after that, including someone we just lost yesterday. Legendary comedy writer and producer Gary K. Marshall. How ironic, because Ron Howard, who did the narration for Arrested Development, starred in his second smash, Happy Days, which premiered in 1974 and ran for 10 seasons, and also spun off two more successful sitcoms, Laverne and Shirley and Mork and Mindy, as well as the less successful Joni Loves Chacha. Ironically enough, Gary Marshall was a writer on Ron Howard's other sitcom, The Andy Griffith Show, as well as The Dick Van Dyke Show, for a season. I wonder if Ron can live with himself, knowing that he supposedly truth busted the moon landing on Arrested Development, a scripted show. Just like Gemma Bent, a scripted show. The bottom line here is, who do you trust? Who do you believe? Are you one of the millions of flocks of sheep like me who believe the moon landing was legit? Or are you a conspiracy theorist or mythbuster? See, it really doesn't matter. But whether it was fake or not, we truly can't take away the beauty, the splendor, the wonder of what took place. Whether it was for our entertainment or for some other purpose. The truth of the matter is, I still like to think it is our country's greatest triumph. Nothing can take away from that. And nobody can take away from Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins the glory that they shared. Now you can ridicule them or you can stand by them. Some have probably turned against them, some have not. One thing's for sure. This has caused a lot more questions than there are answers. And to tell you the truth, I now wish I hadn't come across that thing on Facebook. I now wish I hadn't. I wish I'd have just left well enough alone and just pass it by and let it be. This is on my conscience, this is on your conscience. Who do we believe? Now, you can You know, this being an election year, there are a whole lot of campaign ads. Politicians are slinging mud pretty much at each other like they always do. You gotta wonder, did man really go to the moon or did he not? The first lines of the classic song by Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody, ask a question that no doubt millions and millions of us have been asking ever since. Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide. No escape from reality. That's as legit can get, folks. I can't tell you how to run your life. I don't want to, because it's none of my business how you run your lives. It is my business how I run my life. So I'm saying to you, you still got a bucket list? Try and go ahead and get it done, or throw it away. Forget about it. I mean, do what you want to do is what I'm saying. And if you want to believe one candidate over another, or you want to make your own choice, that's okay too. In the long run, we all make our own choices. And only time will tell if they are the right ones or the wrong ones. We won't really know until it all plays out. And it will play out in early November. One theorist thinks Hillary Clinton has the election all locked up. I don't know. Maybe she does. Maybe she'll get convicted for perjury. Who knows? All that I do know is that woman has never told the truth a day in her entire life. She probably... There's a new version of To Tell the Truth going on right now on ABC. She probably wouldn't... there's a good chance you won't ever see her on that show. Same if they revived What's My Line. Because that's all she's been doing is feeding us lines. You know, it's hard to believe the rethinking I've been doing since I took a look at that original video I posted back in March. Maybe I was wrong about some things, maybe I was right about others. Often I have said that somebody put a curse on this year because of all that's been happening, but I don't think that's the case either. Everything that has gone on is just happenstance. Nobody planned these deaths and these events this way. They just happen to happen. Seems like we're all victims of happenstance at one time or another. I still hope to come into some money so I'll be able to travel back to the land of my birth at my hometown, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and find someone who knew my parents and grandparents, my Aunt Georgie, among others. Meanwhile, I do have family here in town. My cousin Daryl Bills, who was born on the same day I was born, December 20th, but 10 years earlier. Daryl was born on December 20th, 1953, which means he'll be turning 63 this December. I was born that same day 10 years later in 1963, and I'll be turning 53. I need to watch out for my health a little more. I need to lose weight. I need to eat more of the right foods, get some exercise. Hard to do when you're dealing with stuff like gout, and it's hard to do when you're dealing with stuff like gout and lymphedema. I think that's the way it's a skin condition. Like lymphedema, that's it. And I've been dealing with it for a few weeks now, but I think I'm getting over it. That is, I'm starting to. Now, if only the Royals could get over the funk of their end. They just dropped another series to the first place Cleveland Indians, and now look like they are in the driver's seat to unseat the Royals as American League Central Division champs, maybe go on to the World Series. But it's not easy knowing that Lorenzo Cain and Mike Moustakas are out of lineup, have been for quite some time. Sometimes I wonder to myself, how can you be positive? How can you have a positive outlook on life with all this negativity around you? Well, the answer is very plain and simple. I've got to have a positive outlook because I know that without it, I know I'm truly lost. I've already lost the fight if I don't keep a positive attitude. And that's what I try to do every day. And for years, I've made it look so doggone easy. It's not that easy now, but I'll try to make it look that way. I've had to deal with a lot of things, including my new friend Delana. She's not exactly a new friend. She's been helping me little by little. She recently had a nervous breakdown and had to go to the hospital. She was also in court. She's expected back this week. I don't know when. But I hope to see her again real soon, because I really miss her. And all that she's done for me, I can never pay her back. You probably have a friend like that too. And if you do, you should thank them for all that they've done for you. You can't thank them enough. When you've got true good friends by your side, it all works out. And hopefully during this election, we'll make not the right decisions or the wrong decisions, but the decisions we want to make, in the hopes that the trash will take itself out, for the most part. On this 47th anniversary of man landing on the moon, the one thing we've got to believe in is ourselves. Believe that we can change the world, heal the world. And little by little we're doing that. There are examples of that happening too. So I say to you, keep on doing what you're doing. Maybe I won't make a difference in this life, but maybe you can. Help a friend, help the elderly, check on them during this heat wave, make sure they are okay, make sure the younger people are okay, the babies and like that. Do what you can to help each other, because we're going to need each other more than we ever did before. The government sure ain't going to help us unless we elect the right people. People who don't believe in money and power. Those kind of people are pretty hard to find, but I think with a lot of luck and a little hope, we can do this. That's about all I have to say. Kenny Roxable saying adios, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, and TTFN. Ta-ta for now.